All right, separate traders, welcome on back here this Monday afternoon, shortly after 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, October 17th, I was going to say. Great to see Chuck, who had just cleaned up on a trade here on the IMPX stock. Great to see Chuck. Great to see Jason, Grant, and the rest of us just joining us right now. Perhaps Armand and Michael, Dan and Alex. All of us can hear me loud and clear there. Perfect. Love to know that as always. Great to see all of us back on social media, Facebook Live and YouTube otherwise. So right now, the markets are really holding well right off resistance, roughly under that 368. You could see the SPY on the 5-minute chart. That's a 10-minute chart there. How about that? We'll switch back to a 5. Nevertheless, SPY holding under resistance really well. We just went over support, resistance, basic charting, core principles really with the charts inside the Phase 1 stock course earlier this morning. Now we have our second class later on today coming up at 3 p.m. Eastern time, working with the trends. So, a lot of, very simple information in terms of just working with the stock as it's going up, making sure you're not trying to catch a falling knife as it's dropping sharply. IMPX here, for the most part, has been coiling up a bit sideways across the duration of the day, but it was popping early in pre-market. That was the direction that we were initially following this stock with. And, although it was going sideways, you could say that it was still kind of building a trend up off the lows you could see right here. And then just a moment ago, ended up cracking above resistance off the 8 level. And ever since, it's been smooth sailing. Not to say an easy trade, though, right? I mean, it's been smooth sailing off that 8 level, but it's got a really thin order book, big spread at times, thin volume on the ask at least. Some good volume out there on the bid for right now, including about a 13,000 share iceberg on the bid at 890. I don't know how long ago that just popped up. Let's see if I have this up on my level 4. We have class coming up, so I got to be quick, but we got a little time for level 4 here for right now. So let's bring this up here pretty briefly, book map, and it ended up just making this big pop as we had said. Well, this just popped up over the last couple of minutes at that. Shortly after 2:30 Eastern time, this order popped up. Looks like there could just be more volume out there collectively at that 890. I think Bookmap shows about like 7,700 shares. Okay, on the matrix now, it shows about 82. So, it's still a pretty big support for right now to complement the 9 level. We'll look to see this IMPX potentially push higher towards 10 into the close. So definitely put this on our list to begin. All right, so with that, let's go from top to bottom. Hey, we do have class coming up, so I do want to be pretty brief with going through our scanners here. Make sure our students have enough time to get ready for class. Really quick with the Phase 1 stock course from earlier today, I didn't realize this until after we finished up. We had a lot of us in class, but I know that there were a lot of us that were not able to initially get in. So I was just reminded to just make mention, hey, if you were one of the folks that had some issues early this morning with the class and getting in, make sure you click that link that we had posted earlier in the chat board. Make sure you get in right now. Make sure to see if you're able to. You should be at this point. Our IT team, I think, ended up fixing it. But there is the link. I ended up just reposting it there in the chat. So if you were affected by that early this morning, just make sure that you're good to go by clicking on that link there. But let's see what else we have across the gainers and losers lists here. LFG looks like a buyout to begin for this one, so I guess skip over it. AVCT, I haven't checked in on this since the early morning. Ended up making a really strong push early on. We'll talk about this actually a bit inside the class later on this afternoon at 3:05. But, right now you can see it's been building at top pretty nicely, roughly off like 231, 233. I know high there is at 235, but a bit of a rounded top. You have a couple of larger orders on the ask pretty much right there, 230. Now at 232, I literally just saw him move a penny lower. So that was pretty interesting to catch from the corner of my eye. But 230, 232, AVCT looks really flat for right now. So I'll put this on our side list here. Maybe I'll come back to this at the end if it somehow has more life to it by the end of this meeting. Now, Roblox, RBLX, this is one from the morning that same to be said. It's been building this big rounded top across the morning into the afternoon. It's been still pushing up, but how much higher can you keep expecting this to go? I mean, it's more of a name brand stock, unless if the markets really sling higher from here. I wouldn't expect for this to be as good of a trade as it was from the morning. So rightfully so, we were following this upon the market opening up, made its bigger and better move then. I just don't really see as clean of a pop higher into the close for this trade. And just given the price, I know that if you're interested in this, you're trading lower shares. So, in terms of opportunity cost, you could probably make more money on a different trade. Check back in on the SPY by the end of this meeting. Perhaps we're getting a small little bounce, but to what degree, we'll find out soon. Let's see what else we have across the gainer side here, though. First, Wayfair W used to be pretty expensive, now more within our price range. It's like kind of filling in sideways a bit, just basically higher lows, lower highs. Now, MGNX, this was a huge disappointment from early this morning. Stock ended up making this big pop early in the morning and pre-market, but completely dumped all the way back down and then some. You could say it's grinding back up right now, but not really trading the type of volume per minute that I would want it to be trading. Probably want to see a lot higher of a number there. All right, so that could take me to a trade that I'm in right now, but not a day trade. Again, we have our swing trading course beginning on Friday, 12 p.m. Eastern time for a lot of us inside our live trading room. I believe that you'll have access to that, but if not, just double check with your education advisor. However, from Friday last week in the afternoon meeting, I told you folks I was hunting on a swing trade for Mara. I ended up taking a small loss from 1188 initially and ended up dropping really far down, way down. And at that point, I think it was 1088 at that, but dropped all the way down. I ended up just finding my next level going into the market close. I didn't want to take a big position on it, so it's smaller share count. Either way, for a swing, it should be smaller, but nonetheless, ended up gapping up nicely right from my level of 1035 and has only pushed up since. It's a nice start to this one. We'll see how long this one can last. I've been following Mara as a swing trade, really not just from the end of last week, but really from the last couple of weeks, looking for an overall move up within the market. And with that, crypto, and with that, other crypto stocks like Coinbase, Riot, but Mara probably being the most volatile of them. So with that, it's been a great day as a day trade for Mara and for me as a swing trade. It's pretty close to the highs. If we can get another bounce back up into the close here within the SPY and the indices, then I'm sure Mara could be a decent trade, but let's see what else is out there first. I'll put this on the side list for right now. Only have the IMPX on our main list so far. GOEV, not a whole lot happening there. Sorrento, I assume this one's going to be really slow. Yeah. I saw a beat push up earlier, BEAT, familiar name, popped, but then dropped all the way back down. And it's like kind of a spotty chart right now. Volume kind of dipped off there, it seems. All right, let's see what else we have on the loser side for right now. We'll check in with some other side list stocks at the end, folks. If there's anything else that you would want me to look at or check out here by the end of it all, up, down, left, right, more than 5%, just type it in the chat board. Let me know. Got Cano dropping off big earlier today. How about this? This was like a really interesting example of order flow. I just, why not just show this? I do have it up at least, so it's easy for me to just do here for you folks. But, CANO, just what an interesting example of iceberg orders. So early going into the, afternoon, perhaps late morning even, there was a 452,000 share order on the bid sitting there at 735. I mean, hey, I wouldn't expect for that to break, let alone as quickly as it did here. So it ended up just out of nowhere, completely pulling back, dropping down to that level again. It had tested it once earlier going into the late morning, but on the next attempt, complete shake through that iceberg. The big dot obviously confirms the transaction, or at least a good chunk of it, if not the entire transaction. So ended up dropping all the way down, to a new set of iceberg orders, an 833,000 share order on the bid at 6 and a 330,000 share order on the bid at 590. And it broke through it. I mean, it looks like it broke through a decent chunk of it at that, if not the entirety of the order. I'm sure some of it got pulled. And you can see at least here 180K, 332K at 590. and it looks like a decent chunk, if not all of that, gets filled. This thing got crushed going into the early afternoon. What a short on Cano. Now, going into the early afternoon here, or mid to late afternoon, rather, I should say, it's trying to bounce back up, trying to make a bit of a squeeze off the 5 level. I mean, if anything, best case scenario is that 590 is now a resistance and it makes some, squeeze back up there. I would not be expecting as clean of a push back up over that level, at least into the afternoon. So, that's ultimately best case scenario, in my opinion, for the Cano trade. It is shortable. So if it ends up making a lower high here or a new iceberg on the S pops up, that could drive this right back down. Just for me, I think it's just tradable in both directions. So I'll put this on our watch list for right now here, the Cano trade. Starting to trend back up pretty nicely, I guess. All right, so the market's up. UVXY down, SQQQ down. All those ETFs we've been trading the last week or so. Got Fox, kind of brand name, right? It's at the low of the day, right? It's down over 8%. It's at the lows. So if there's a shake or a dip in the markets, then that could drive this down even further. This is exactly where you would want to find a stock as a short going into the market close. So it'll be hard to pass this one up right now. More of like a level 1 or 2 stock even at that, like as a $26 trade. Maybe Fox A is like more volatile. There's Fox A. I don't think there's much difference. All right, we got the IMUX. IMUX ended up making a big push going into the mid to end of last week. And then, today taking a bit of a pullback down over 9%, dropping back down. The only issue on this trade, and really this is actually a big thing, it's barely trading any volume per minute. It's like 1,000, 1,500 shares a minute at most. I'm not expecting this to be a great trade whatsoever here heading into the afternoon. If anything, maybe it slumps off more. I wouldn't be expecting any sort of real bounce on this trade just yet, if anything. All right. So for all of us inside the live trading room, let me know. For all of us on social media, likewise, let me know if there's anything else that you would want me to check out. I got one from Benzinga here. I want to see how good the chart looks here. KAVL making a pop. It's trying to squeeze back up to the high of the day right now. It's only trading 614,000 shares on the day so far. So I wish it was trading a little bit more. And so far, we got 3 stocks. That's it. I'll check back in with those that we had on our side list, like the Mara trade. At this point, I may as well slip Mara on our main list. This is as close to the highs as we could find pretty much any stock at this point. The SPY is making a better bounce right now. A little higher low action happening there. Perhaps that could lead to a new high heading into the end of the day, maybe even the after hours, perhaps. But, Mara right now we'll put on our list. Roblox. It's just for the price. I just feel like you can get more opportunity even on that Mara trade. And then the AVCT, this is pretty close to the highs too. This one I feel like you can get more bang for your buck on as well. So I'll put this on our main watch list. From Armand inside our live trading room, ATXI, any book, please? Thanks. I do have ATXI on Bookmap. I could show you that. It would be tough for me to open it up if I didn't have it here, but I do. So let's see. We got an order on the ask at 378, order on the ask at 360 there for about 24K. Big resistance up top at 4. But direction right now is down off the highs. So right now, there's not a whole lot to this ATXI trade right now. If you did well on it from the last few days or from Friday last week, then, if it makes a better move, then you could try and take advantage of it. But I just feel like there's better stocks out there at this point. All right. So, folks, I'm going to jump back into the classroom right now, make sure that I'm good to go, and make sure our students are good to go. I know that there was a small issue earlier this morning with getting in, logging in. It affected some of us, not all of us. But again, if you were affected with the access to the Phase 1 stock course earlier this morning, make sure that you click the link that I posted inside the chat board just a moment ago. You'll have access. All right, folks. Otherwise, if you're a trial member, at least you don't have access to that just yet. If you're interested in learning more about our education and what we offer outside this live trading room, again, just speak to one of our education advisors here. They'll be able to break down the curriculum, detail it to you. But for all of us, otherwise, I look forward to speaking to you folks in the class coming up. Take care.
Become a Cyber Group member today. Just click the link below and receive all these amazing products and a world of knowledge for just $9. Do it today.